show, remember?
Yes.
He was actually... So if you come to L.A. and you give enough money, we can actually put you in the chair for 5 minutes.
Right.
We will do that for a price.
Yeah, totally.
We're not above that.
No.
Right? And if you're a hot-looking chick, and make sure you have long hair, and for God's sakes, if you've got gray, we don't want to see it.
Make sure you die.
And if you're over 40, don't do a striptease here.
Exactly.
You know?
And
right?
then say, oh, I got such a beautiful vagina. It's like it's not attractive. It's just like... Or like I've had women, like, they'll be sitting here in this very chair.
Yeah?
And like we're carrying on a conversation and suddenly, like, she spreads her legs and she says, Luke, I want you to look at it. Just not attractive. Like, we're having this conversation, and suddenly she's like, I want you to look at it.
Oh, God.
And she's like taking off her underwear in the car, and suddenly it's like, there's this beaver right there, and I'm like, this is not really the wet part of Torah.
All right, so that's the deal. So right now I'm, you want to, lady, you want to pass your phone number to somebody?
Yeah, I'll only give it in private. I'm not going to just give it to every dick who shows up in the chat room. Tom, Dick, and Harry.
All right, so you got 4 people in the chat room right now.
So yeah, D-Medic and Garden Fun can get the phone number.
Okay, so you do that. You take care of that.
When they want it, if they want it.
Okay, you guys want it? Let us know. Because he'll give you the phone number, you call in, we'll take your call. All right, so that's happening. You want to move on? Let's talk about some other things. I wanted to talk about this. There seems to be, like, in the news lately, a lot of anti-Semitism.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what that's all about spiritually. You know, it's like maybe, like, you know, we're getting close to something big happening. Like Labian Rabs are, like, about to explode on the world. Bring Judaism and the light of Torah out to the world so that the forces of the Yetzer Hara and evil are moving very hard right now. We saw it with the anti-circumcision people, right? These anti-Semites, right? And now we're seeing it with the flotilla, these people who are pro-Hamas, right? And they want to destroy Israel. And even Delta Airlines is getting into it. What do you think about that?
Well, I know there's this one girl who kind of embodies all of that. I first heard her on Dennis Prager's radio show back in 2003 because she'd written this anti-Israel op-ed for the UCLA Daily Bruin. And Dennis had her on his radio show. She was from the UK. She said that she grew up a Zionist and she had trips to Israel as a teenager, and she was very pro-Israel until she went to university. And she heard about the Palestinians and like Arab suffering, and she completely changed her perspective. So I was reading through her Twitter account and noticed that she'd written this article in The Guardian
and by the way, the Guardian is to the state of Israel what Nazi Germany was to the German Jews.
So it's a left-wing newspaper, and so she's against circumcision. She's very skeptical about kosher slaughter.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
It's regulated. So she's a proud participant in slut walks. Like this woman, like hits the trifecta.
and she has a butch haircut.
Well, she's kind of a hot blonde. She's doing a PhD at Oxford in how Israel discriminates. It has these policies to encourage Jews to have children, but it doesn't have the same policies to encourage Arabs in Israel to have children.
Right, and I actually read that on you posted that on Facebook. Did you read what I commented with?
Yeah, you said something rather harsh about her.
I said she's your typical Jew, spoiled Jew bitch, grew up in Southern California, probably, a couple of rich Jew parents, and they spoiled her rotten. She rebels against, she hates her parents, she rebels against them because they stand for being Jewish, and traditional, and they're Zionists. So she's like anti-Israel, anti-circumcision, I'm going to take away your religion from you, bans kosher slaughter, look what I'm going to do to you, and then I'm going to be a flight attendant on Delta, not let you on board. And it's people like that, you know what, it makes me want to, it's people like that who really make me pro-abortion, I swear. People like that make me pro-abortion. Because she should not have kids. Do we need someone like that having kids? She should not have been born.
She's kind of pretty.
Okay, so
she's got blonde, long hair.
So you would keep, right? You would be okay with her, but a really adult 40-year-old woman, Jewish, but she had gray hair, that was short or whatever, you would toss her out.
Well, I have to admit that I'm much more attracted to the hot blonde who's anti-Israel.
That is just very disturbing, Levy, and that could be a big reason why you're single. Because you go wherever your dick points to. And it should be wherever your brain is pointing to.
Those are definitely things to prey on.
Yeah. You're thinking with your dick.
Chas v'shalom.
Okay. Can we move on?
Yeah.
Now our favorite portion of the week. Our updates on the Rubashkin case.
I can't wait.
Can't wait. Alright. For those who don't know, I gotta mention, this is the Sholem Rubashkin processors case central on the internet. This is the place that everyone is turning to get information about the Rubashkin case. We are huge right now in the inner circles of the Rubashkin team, if you will, of his inner circles and their legal counsel, and everybody's aware of us, lady. We're huge. You realize how big we are?
No.
We're big.
I'm just studying Torah day, and I think about, oh, how big am I? Oh, I'm so big. Oh, I'm really, really big.
Okay.
I'm thinking about the Torah is big.
Okay.
The Torah is so vast. Hashem is the biggest big out there. That's what I'm thinking about all day.
I know. Well, not all of us are at your level.
Exactly.
Okay, and just letting you know, we're big, and everyone who has information that's relevant to the Rubashkin thing that hasn't been come out to public light yet, they're coming to us, lady. They're coming to us. We are apparently God's chosen repository for information that's vital to the case. They're coming to us, lady.
Mm-hmm.
And like every week I think, well, I think we're done with this. And then every week, like, you know, more information comes to us. You want to hear what came this week?
What came this week?
We got a couple of emails, lady. You want me to read them out?
Exactly.
All right, this is where, by the way, if you have information, don't be shy, send it to us. We're not going anywhere. We're starting our second year. We're going to be here, we're going to be around, we're going to be syndicated. We're going to be around at least 5 years, lady.
Exactly.
We're going to
play the highlights on.
Yeah. So, we should come up with a greatest hits album.
Well, we kind of do.
Oh, okay. So,
and call in, folks. We're taking calls. If you know my cell phone number.
Yeah. Call us. Send us your information about the Rubashkin thing. We'll read it on the air. So we got 2 emails this week, lady. I'm going to read them out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. One is from I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know if it's Rachel or Rachel. I think it's Rachel just because she sounds very frum. So I'm going to go with Rachel because you can't get a pronunciation on an email. So let's say it's Rachel, and she writes, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay. Dear Rabbi and Levi. Okay. I've been watching and following the news of the past few years concerning Sholem Rubashkin. What I have noticed is that each individual to the person involved in this criminal case seems to feel that they have more credibility and are more trustworthy than Rubashkin could ever be. So I was wondering, it appears that no one in the Sholem Mordechai Rubashkin criminal case has any idea of what the frum Jewish world, its culture, and the traditional interpretation and application of the laws and ethics of the written and oral Torah are all about. I also believe that they have no idea why 27% of Israeli Jews and 10% of the Jewish population in the United States who are religious Jews smell a rat in the Rubashkin case. In other words, they're totally clueless. Right? They don't understand what Jews are, and they don't understand why Jews smell a rat. Okay? She continues. The Torah Jews each know that Sholem Rubashkin, along with his father's help, they could have asked the religious community to invest in their company, and they would have never had to use a bank, any bank. The Rubashkins have so much credibility in the Hasidic community until no one, not even the judge, the prosecutor, the investigators, portrayal, I don't know what that means, probation, etc., could come close to commanding the level of trust and honor that the Rubashkins still have amongst those who they know. Could the judge, the prosecutor in the case, go out and raise enough money to even defend themselves in a case like this, much less borrow enough money to build another packing house and start all over again? I'm just asking, do they even understand why they can never have a level of trust and credibility among their communities that the Rubashkins command amongst theirs? The Rubashkins could not have defaulted on a bank loan because they could have always come to their community for help and gotten it in a New York minute.